Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're taking a look at the Tuesday Night Wars and who won. That's right, we should be getting the ratings to determine exactly who won and by how much they won during this show, coming up in about a half hour from when we're starting.
Yeah, usually around 1 o'clock. Yeah,
we'll let everybody know exactly. God damn it, you better win, Paul. You better win this, Sean, or I'm going to be really mad. So, yeah, we're going to talk about... NXT won our poll with the patrons and the YouTube channel members to determine what we review first. Tomorrow we'll be reviewing the bit-by-bit AEW Dynamite, but today we're going to be reviewing the actual episode of NXT just roided out on main roster legends.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
Look at The Undertaker.
Yeah.
and then tomorrow we're going to take a look at AEW. God damn it, so many title changes. Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at all that stuff. But yeah, we're going to take a look at we'll decide amongst ourselves today because we have all the info. So we'll talk about the Tuesday Night War, and because that's what everybody's talking about now.
How much of Dynamite have you watched so far?
A bunch of it.
Yeah.
I want to say probably half of it. I've seen half of it, but I know what happened on the rest of it. Like I was spoiling it for me myself. It was difficult not to.
Yeah, I'm about 50 minutes in. I know what happens otherwise. So.
Yeah. But so number one, before we get started with like our first, because we got Punk Daily, don't we?
We do have Punk Daily, yes.
Okay, so we got some Punk Daily here in just a moment on the broadcast. But first I want to just say this on the thumbnail. So I'm throwing myself under the bus here. Okay, I'm taking responsibility, Larson.
All right.
On the thumbnail, I've got The Undertaker and Braun Breaker in big giant letters in that impact font.
Yeah.
This is silly. I see some people here in the YouTube comments immediately, or in the YouTube chat. God, silly. What are you talking about? It was great. Silly doesn't mean bad.
No.
Nothing. There's no. It's not a negative connotation.
But here's the thing, too. Yeah. The phrase "this is silly" or "this was silly" can, in theory, refer to the image shown, Braun and Taker at the end of the show. It can also refer to the hype, the talk, the chatter in general about this Tuesday Night Wars, which we said all throughout the week.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah. And last night was exceedingly silly. But we're going to talk about all that now that we've got the Tuesday Night War and everybody's talking about it. It's done. It's in the books. We're going to talk about that stuff. But first, Larson, it's time for... Do I even have a Punk Daily here? I don't even... Oh, I do have a Punk Daily.
Oh, here we go.
Punk Daily. I want to do Punk Daily tonight. Okay.
Tonight.
Yeah, all right.
All right, so... Oh, hurt my neck. Oh, gosh, no. I'm too old to do that anymore.
Well, somebody who's too old to be wrestling on WWE, apparently.
Yeah. So on the latest Wrestling Observer news, we start over. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, get myself whiplash.
Take two.
Dave Meltzer followed up on Fightful report yesterday that there are no talks.
No talks.
No talks.
That's what you get.
Between CM Punk and WWE about a potential return. This is what Dave had to say. Quote, they turned him down. The decision was a no. He wanted to go there. The decision was a no. I mean, it can always change. It was brought up to me that there was no such thing as no forever when it comes to WWE, but it's no for now. It's Vince's decision. Vince, Nick Khan, Paul Levesque, and obviously they decided the negatives outweighed the positives. He continues. About 10 months ago, they were talking again at that point, but he's still under contract to AEW, and I was told that would be a no. But it's easy to say it's a no because there's no chance they could get him because of the contract. But this time they could, and they decided to pass.
Yeah. I mean, this just sort of lines up with what Sean Ross Sapp said, on Fightful Select, that, there were talks, and then House of Wrestling, CM Punk's side of things, they're no longer in talks. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this yesterday on Punk Daily. The negatives outweighed the positives. It's one thing for WWE to want to load up and be the end-all, be-all these days, be the industry leader, if you will, Larson. And I feel like
sports entertainment.
I feel like they've got a really stacked roster now and some really decent creative. Yeah.
Well, I think that's more the thing is they have their creative ducks in a row.
Yeah, right.
And I would imagine they have things, at least in terms of the larger story, set for a few months. They know what direction they're heading creatively.
At least a few months.
Maybe even up till Mania at this juncture.
Yeah.
I imagine whether The Rock can make it or not is going to determine a couple things, and some dominoes will fall from that decision. Otherwise, I think a lot of things are probably, if not set in place for the next few months, pretty darn close. And then you toss Phil in there.
He's a big piece.
He's a major piece, and he's going to want major storylines in a major position on the card.
You know what it'd be like? Glenn Close in the Shield, the season 4.
Yeah.
Like they had a really good thing going, storyline wise, and then all of a sudden, Glenn Close, watching her FX, calls her agent. I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that Michael Chiklis. They make a phone call. Who wouldn't want Glenn Close? She comes in. All of a sudden, it's the Glenn Close show. And like all the secondary characters who had really interesting arcs, they become background. That's what they call extras. They become background. And then for a whole season, it was just the Glenn Close show. And it wasn't bad. I like Glenn Close.
It just wasn't the same Shield you were used to.
She was a hard-nosed lieutenant or captain or whatever. I think she was a captain. And then Chiklis, Vic Mackey, ran her out of town. And they brought in an internal affairs guy, Forrest Whitaker, who actually seamlessly blended into it. They were able to pick up all the other threads. He didn't dominate the show. He was so good, too. Anyways, go check out The Shield. It's pretty awesome.
I was thinking it's kind of like, remember when Chris Webber got injured during the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, right.
Kings, and then he was out a good chunk of the next season. The Kings had the best record. Rather than bring Chris Webber off the bench to work him back gradually into the team, they just put him right in the starting lineup and messed up the team chemistry for a spell.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Apologies. We can't come up with anything more recent than 20 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Although I'm glad that I popped some people with the Britpop stuff yesterday.
Yeah, you did. That's good.
Yeah.
So House of Wrestling, shortly after Meltzer's report added, quote, House of Wrestling spoke to a source close to the situation yesterday.
That's CM Punk, yeah.
Maybe CM Punk, yes. Who also felt the door was open for Punk to return to WWE down the road. It was pointed out to me that WWE now answers to Endeavor. If they feel he is needed, Punk could be called upon. The fact that WWE product is hot, not in need of additional big star, is something that has come up regularly in my conversations with people about the situation. So is this Punk again saying, "Hey, make it I'll pick up the phone if you call. I'm always willing to listen."
Yeah, I mean, if all of a sudden, Cody, Jay, Seth, Becky.
Pretty much if all their top stars either get hurt or retire,
bro, there's
go
like
to AEW.
They have like 10 people right now who pop that crowd. You know what I mean? They have a lot of people going for them right now. They would need a lot of calamity.
Mass exodus of talent or a mass retirement.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Or the injury bug just strikes everybody.
It just like dominoes.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And on top of that, he's also battling time. I mean, as we saw last night, The Undertaker, timeless, still moves like he's 25, Larson.
Maybe his arms.
He does this good for the crowd.
Yeah, not so much the knees. It hurt to watch him walk.
It's like watching Yao Ming run up and down a basketball court. Looks like it hurts.
Looks like it hurts. So, I listened to a little bit before we got started of today's edition of The Hump on Fightful.
Oh, nice.
And Sean was going into detail about, how he gathered information for his report yesterday and said, it was a situation where there was some rumor about Punk popping up on internets. He debunked it, and then he got unprompted a call from a higher up in WWE to tell Sean no negotiations are happening right now. And that, WWE is not in the habit of lying to top talents they would not want to alienate, to keep someone's return a secret.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And he says WWE's not in the position where they will send misinformation, at least maybe, I guess in his experience for sure, to wrestling media to keep something a secret,
Yeah, he was emphasizing that point on Twitter as well, because the obvious, and we got this on our Punk Daily yesterday when we first talked about this, the obvious comments out there are, they're working you. They're working you. They're working you. And Sean's response was, he talked to a bunch of different people who would be in no position, nor would they endeavor to feed misinformation or mislead. It's just like, no, this isn't happening. Yeah. And so WWE, they're trying to get expectations down. And I think that they're probably going to load up the Survivor Series card. And I don't think anybody's going to have their expectations up.
No.
But one thing they might want to start doing, I should say stop doing, is any and all references to CM Punk, whether it's, little lines here and there in a promo, anyone using a GTS.
If they're doing it to kind of troll him, I think that's kind of funny, though.
I think it's funny because I find petty funny. I really do.
But in terms of raising the expectations of fans that he's going to be there, yes, I agree.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he can. I thought he had a really cool kind of B movie acting career going there before he came back to AEW.
Yeah, he did. He was writing comic books too.
He was writing comic books. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like Shawn Michaels was talking, fairly highly of him, saying, "Hey, we got a lot in common." And it's, I wonder if, I don't know, we don't know how far conversations were, whether it's just Punk like, "Hey, you interested?" No, all right, and that was it. Whether NXT was brought up as an option, but last night on NXT, we saw a lot of WWE legends and top stars on the roster currently show up.
Yeah.
Pop a number. Still waiting on that number. About 20 minutes away from getting said number.
18 minutes away. Who will be the friendo that drops that info first, Larson?
Usually it's White Brownie.
It is usually White Brownie. He's our ratings insider.
Yes. And I thought it was to mixed effect. Like, I thought they did a good job of working Cena in, and especially working John Cena's possible match with Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel into the show. Yeah. It seemed like he had a chat with Trick Williams about the future of Trick Williams' career. I felt like that was pretty well done.
I thought that was great. Trick, when Melo's like, "Hey, I'm going to go after the NXT title. You can get that North American title back." And Trick's like, no. I want to be top dog. I'm ready. Yeah. And by the way, when you look at Trick Williams, you see how tall that guy is?
Yeah.
Larson, by 2029, by the end of the decade, this dude's going to be main eventing WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
Oh my! If they don't, that's a big ball drop. This dude, because you always got to look at the size. The smaller guys, you can't put any bets on them. Those tall dudes, if you got the height and you got I read something a long time ago.
That's not just the height. You got to have the height and you got to have the charisma.
No. I'm saying height is a prerequisite for an automatic buy to WrestleMania main event. I read somewhere a while ago that.
Well, if height alone is automatic buy.
I didn't say height alone. I did not say. I said that is a prereq. I didn't say it alone. I said it's a prerequisite. That doesn't mean exclusive. I'm saying if you have, I'll put it this way. If you're 5'8" and you have all the charisma in the world and you've got all the wrestling moves in the world, you better damn well be Daniel Bryan, because it's kind of rare that anybody that isn't Daniel Bryan would make their way to a WrestleMania main event.
What's your definition of tall? Like, what height and above would you consider tall?
I'd say 6 feet. I read something a long time ago that said if Xavier Woods was 6'2", he'd be like the Bruno of our era, because he's got everything else, but he's like probably 5'10" or something.
Yeah.
So you got that size on you. He has the charisma of, a million bright suns. He's got the promo, and his in-ring stuff will get there. And by the way, you don't really need great in-ring to main event WrestleMania.
As long as you can tell a story, tell an interesting, captivating story.
Yeah.
You don't need, like a massive arsenal of moves that are going to wow the crowd. You just need to know how to tell a story that gets the crowd invested in the match. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Your boy Ali here in Twitch chat says, why does height even matter? I don't think it should. It does. They like the big people because it's larger than life.
Yeah. That's the WB historically. That's been the WB way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Otherwise, Undertaker showed up at the end and challenged Braun Breaker to his theory that he's the most badass person in WWE, and then choke slammed him.
Is there any more proof than we need on our thesis that age, the older you get, the more powerful you become than the Undertaker?
So if that is indeed the case, they need to find a way for the Undertaker to ride his motorcycle into the ring. because I know the Undertaker. There's a lot of miles on those knees of his.
Yeah, you're not talking about the motorcycle there. Yeah,
hard living on those legs.
Yeah.
So if you want me to believe that the Undertaker at 60-something years old, late 50s, early 60s, I don't know exactly how old he is, 40 years older than Braun Breaker probably, 35 to 40, is going to go up in there and it was a great choke slam. Credit to Braun Breaker for jumping up and selling that choke slam.
Sold the shit out of it, yeah.
And taking that choke slam. All right, Atticus says Undertaker's 58. And expect me to believe that Braun just couldn't like kick him in the knee and the Undertaker would not be able to get back up. Then there's gotta be some smoke and mirrors involved here, because I see Undertaker walk up to Braun. I'm like, I through the TV, I could hear his knees crack every time he takes a step. You know,
that's what you hear. Yeah,
the illusion only goes so far for me personally. Granted, I've never been a huge Undertaker guy.
Yeah, right.
I appreciate the career he's had.
Yeah.
In terms of wrestlers with a gimmick, he got a lot more mileage out of that gimmick than probably anybody else could have.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That being said, I can only suspend my disbelief so much.
So
personally,
no. I feel you. I personally don't have that problem so much. Like when I see Sting in there, doing crazy stuff and no selling, like, crazy moves. Does it take me out in the moment? A little bit, yeah. But it makes me laugh and it entertains me. And Undertaker's the same way. I buy into the more absurd aspects of pro wrestling. I think maybe a little bit more than you do.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. I buy into what Sting does, Mark, because he's on TV on a regular basis.
That's true.
And
too, yeah.
you could tell he obviously he's not as athletic as he used to be.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I see him out there and I don't feel pain watching him walk like I do with Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know.
That's the difference. Is I see the discomfort on Undertaker when he takes a step. I see that.
Also, we were sort of allowed a behind the scenes insight, a very lengthy one with that documentary they did on him, and it just looks like everything hurts.
Oh yeah, he's beat. Undertaker's beat to hell. Yeah,
I feel it. My main, going back to the silliness aspect of it though, and this kind of speaks to what you're saying as well, specifically with the Undertaker thing, but in a macro sense. Dude, I'm a fan. I'm never a fan of when a wrestling show will take a sharp left turn without explanation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an NXT fan and only an NXT fan, and you're like, oh, AEW's not for me. That's just not my thing. And you don't pay attention to the Going In Raws or the Sean Ross Abs or the Cultaholics or the Wrestle Talks. And you're just watching NXT and you're sitting there like, what the fuck? What? Why is Cody there? Wait, whoa, Jesus Christ, John Cena's the fucking Undertaker?
What motivation does LA Knight have to referee this match? What's in it for him?
Right. It's so that's when I call it silly. That's why it's the same thing in a different way, in a very much different way. Is why I found CM Punk calling out Hangman Page so egregious when Hangman Page was not involved in a feud and he was not going to show up. To me, it's like that's just disrespecting your crowd because you're trying to tell a story that's all scripted or at least planned out on a 11x14 piece of paper.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're going off script, calling out a guy because you have weird backstage actor beef with. That threw me off with CM Punk. I was like, that's just unprofessional. And I'm not saying this is unprofessional what WWE's doing. I just, from a creative standpoint, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
And similarly with AEW, because like we can talk about a little bit, 2 title changes out of nowhere. And I don't know, I have you seen, is there an update on Saraya in terms of, is she only had 1 title defense against Toni Storm.
I know.
And I think she was in a tag match, but that's been it.
Yeah, I mean, the Rey Fenix title reign seemed completely accidental because Mox got hurt.
That was
so I'm not surprised. He was probably, slated to lose last night to Mox if Mox had been cleared. Mox wasn't. They decided to roll with Orange Cassidy as international champ because it seemed like they have an idea for a story to tell while he has that title still. Because his demeanor was much different last night.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like the story was happening, and I feel like they speed ran like let's just do the title, and it felt a little panicky booking to me. It was like
did. A lot of Dynamite what I saw so far felt that way.
Right. And so when we talk about the general idea, at least creatively, because we're 9 minutes away from getting the ratings. The ratings I don't give a shit about. They're mildly interesting, but who cares? Like NXT ain't like this every week, so it doesn't matter. It's an artificial number, and AEW isn't on Tuesdays every week or most weeks, so it doesn't matter if they underperform. None of it matters. It's stupid.
No, it doesn't. It's not. It's not a 1-to-1 competition. It's not.
I mean, you can take a look at AEW, and it's NXT didn't use the people that have been there since 2021, whenever they rebranded.
Yeah.
So that's not fair. They load up the main roster, and AEW, you could make the claim. I mean, AEW has signed a bunch of people they used to be with WWE, and that's how they've raised their profile, which is fine. It's all a big whatever.
That's the wrestling business.
But creatively speaking, I honestly think that besides the Tony Storm silent film, I kind of feel like it's all a bunch of nothing. Like creatively, I think that both shows did a disservice to their brands. There is a flip side to that, and I see it in our YouTube chat and our Twitch chat. A lot of people just thought the shit was fun. It's like, oh my God, wow, Undertaker, that's cool, that's crazy. If you're not so enmeshed in like, okay, well, they're telling stories in NXT, and I want to know what these stories are all about. Like, if you don't care that much about that, cool. Yeah. Cody shows up. John Cena shows up. Heyman shows up. We get to see these people interact with main roster stars, and that's kind of cool. I can see that philosophy too, and that I'm glad that it made a lot of people interested in the product.
Totally.
And it popped them, and it was something cool. For me personally, it's just we're pausing our regular programming for a week for silliness.
It feels like an exhibition.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It does. And I'll go back to the Cena example. I thought how they worked him into the show for the most part benefited the people he was in segments with.
I agree with that.
Regular NXT talent he was in segments with. Carmelo gets the Cena rub. He has the talk with Trick.
That was cool.
They carry on a main roster story with Solo showing up and attacking Cena.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
If every main roster integration was done that way, it wouldn't feel so shoehorned in.
Mm-hmm, yeah, right.
Like, I get Cody coming and announcing the Dusty Classic. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. And given his father's history with NXT, I understand wanting him to come in there.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But like having LA Knight be the guest referee, why?
Yeah,
why? You just want LA Knight on the show.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because he just pops. He pops the people. He pops the ratings, and that's literally the only reason. And it honestly was kind of a distraction.
Because the crowd, the whole match was like, yeah. And seemingly not focused on Ilya and Dom.
Watching him ref in his outfit was hilarious. Watching him try to get to, some refs are so wonderfully smooth with like getting down to do the count. And he's like, oh, okay. 1, oh no, 2. He wasn't the smoothest ref in the world.
No.
But it was pretty funny. Anyways, before we dive into the NXT special event, Tuesday Night War a breakdown here, let's pay some bills, Larson. What do you say?
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Hold on one second. Sorry, wait. We're gonna pause really quick because my fonts aren't working. Here we go. There we go. Dear. Look at that. All right, Larson, let's go ahead and pay some bills.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Steve.
Yes.
Anxiety, it could be a tricky thing. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation where there's something I should do or I need to do, but my brain just starts going and my anxiety kicks up, and it makes it pretty darn difficult to get those things done if I get them done at all.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm guessing you know this now, but therapy helps you figure out what's holding you back so you can work for yourself instead of against yourself.
Yeah, I've been there, and sure, I was generally kind of anxious, my whole time growing up, but my anxiety got really bad in my mid-20s, and I realized that was getting in the way of me living a happy, productive life, and I needed to go to therapy. It took me a few tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to, but once I did, I was able to learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Let's see here. NXT kicked off with Cody Rhodes. Man, I don't know about camping out in advance to see Cody Rhodes, but if somebody told me, hey, if you show up 2 days in advance and you camp out, you could be front row, put on you
could be one of a lucky 200 to be in the same room.
Yeah, right.
As Cody.
Breathe the same air as Cody. He really is terrific. I don't know why. I changed up the banner here. I got Tony Storm up here on the banner.
I noticed.
I need to fit Cody in there somewhere because it's kind of
I guess he's tag champion. I guess he could.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, man, if I could be there right there in the front, with like a 3XL shirt on, like one of those little helicopter hats, and then do the thing and then take some tape.
You don't need to do the thing.
Because he always gives preferential treatment to little kids. I just do this.
Cody.
And I'll just whisper him.
Cody.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that whatsoever.
A little slobber coming down. It's like, oh my goodness, this child is slobbering.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
I am.
Anyways, so he comes down. He says, "Yeet." He actually said that.
The crowd was chanting "Yeet" at him.
Right. Yeah. He says, "So NXT Universe, what do you want to talk about?" He said, "I'd be lying if I told you I ever thought I'd be standing in this particular ring." He's like, "I specified in my contract no NXT." He says, "But now that I am, something feels right. It's the roads. It's Florida. We spilled blood all over this state." And it's in the vein of gratitude that I want to cut right to it. I have an announcement. Actually, announcements. And they're all fairly underwhelming. He says, "We've been enjoying the women's breakout tournament. Who's going to be the next Stratton? Ripley. At the end of that tournament, the men will have a breakout tournament too. I kept hearing people talk about a certain tag team tournament too. You guys seem like you want that." He says, "Well, that's good because the Dusty Classic is always coming back. But one more, perhaps the biggest night in NXT history. I have the privilege tonight. I am special guest general manager of NXT." So those were his announcements.
Yeah, and he's interrupted by Ilya.
Yeah.
He comes to the ring, says, "Cody, my apologies for interrupting, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to welcome you to NXT. Your announcements bring hope to the future of the brand and breathe life into NXT. But besides that, I want to meet a man who brings this passion, this energy, the will to suffer for the entire WWE universe."
Yeah, what was that line all about? The will to suffer.
I mean, that's Ilya's thing. That's Ilya's thing.
Yeah, being in a match, pain makes me alive, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He says, "You're a man who fights with the fire and pushes everything he does to the next level. It's something I want to do like you. I promise to push this brand to the next level." And then he's interrupted by Dom and Rhea Ripley. And so Dom says, "You two are really here patting each other on the back. The W Universe is here to see the greatest superstar this brand has to offer. Me. Ilya, you may be NXT champ, but you don't compare to me. So if you want to feel Cody's energy, why don't you ask him about his energy levels every time the Judgment Day? Leave him laying."
Oh, yeah.
So
Then
Ilya says,
he says,
"Go ahead,
why am I
it."
not surprised you came out here when no one wanted to hear your voice?" He says, "My father used to work in a prison," which is so in keeping with Ilya. He says, "So I know how to turn a barking dog into a puppy." And then Dom says, "Oh, did I hurt little Ilya? If you want to be like your hero Cody, why don't you put the NXT title on the line against me?" Cody's like, "Dom, what I'm hearing is that you're not willing to put your North American title on the line." And Rhea's like, "Dom's been carrying NXT on his back the entire year. He just won the North American title again." And Ilya says, "Today is a day of celebration, and I can't think of a better gift to give myself than eating Dom alive. And Rhea, I'm going to smash your boy."
It was Ilya's birthday yesterday, too.
Yeah. And then Cody remembers he's GM. And he's like, "Oh, wait, that's right. I can do this."
It
is
official.
It is official. And he says, "And here's the problem. Knowing what I know about Judgment Day, this match needs a special guest referee. No, it's not me. The special guest referee is the hottest megastar in WWE. Yeah. LA Knight." Oh, that crowd popped big, man. Cody gives the people. He gives the people what they want. That's why, Larson. He gives the people what they want.
Ultimate politician.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We got a couple super chats here real quick. Mordecai, $5 super chat, says, "I think Saraya getting a title change is purely a lot of people didn't like her as champion, and Tony took that into account as well as the ratings war." I kind of disagree. I'm sure plenty of people probably didn't like Saraya being champion. I didn't really care one way or the other. But I don't think that's why Tony Khan would have done that. I think that there's probably something behind the scenes.
Could be, or just a situation where like we need to generate some interest in our show because we're going head to head with NXT. So let's have not one but two kind of surprising title changes.
Yeah, that could be. And then Will says, with the super chat says, I got to say I did love the Pillman Jr. promo. Cody became an EVP for one night, but him and Jay should have went to NXT drunk. I don't think anybody would have complained about that. No. But yeah, we'll talk about the Pillman stuff probably extensively here in a little bit.
Yeah.
After that, John Cena shows up. Booker T was laughing because he showed up in looked like a cheap rental car.
Oh yeah, a little blue rental car.
Yeah. And then we had Roxanne Perez versus Asuka.
They only had the what do they call it? Sports. Not sports cars. What do they call the smaller ones? Shoot. I don't know why it's escaping my mind right now.
Remember that time we had that mint color car when we went to Chicago? It was a little tiny mint color. Like, we're such nerds. We couldn't say, hey, let's get the Mustang. Let's get the Challenger, something cool like that. Let's get a tiny mint colored car.
Yeah. It's, okay, so
economy.
Sorry, this is economy. That's what it is. You get the little economy car.
Compact economy. Anyways, Roxanne Perez versus Asuka. I thought this was awesome, man. I thought this match was absolutely terrific.
I did appreciate that one of the stories they were telling with this match is, can Roxanne give Asuka her first loss in NXT?
That was cool, yeah.
Like Asuka goes back to NXT, her NXT record still stands. They kind of wipe the record book of her main roster record. I like that.
I thought that could, like, when I heard them commentary talking about that,
yeah,
that could be one great motivation for Asuka to go back to NXT as being kind of like, I don't know, a championship unto herself. Like, oh, who can actually claim to beat Asuka in NXT, because like nobody was ever able to do that. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I like that they played it out for this match. Unfortunately, in this case for Roxanne Perez, she was not the one to do it. Head kick put her down. She was not ready for Asuka, man. So Asuka gets her down with just a bunch of offense. So Perez tried to roll her up. Asuka kicks out of that. Got her with some shots and a big old head kick to get the win here. But it was a really phenomenal match. I like this a lot.
It was really good. It was
after Asuka's win, Kiana James gets in the ring, talks a bunch of shit to Perez, and then Shotzi, who was on commentary, and it was announced that she's going to be hosting both nights of Halloween Havoc coming up towards the end of the month.
Her and Scarlett.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right, because they have that YouTube show where they go and do.
They have a ghost hunting show.
Right. Yeah. They just better not steal our idea for a ghost hunting show.
Oh, our ghost hunting show is best ghost hunting show idea there could be.
Oh man, it's going to make it to network. I'm telling you. So Shotzi gets in, hits Kiana with some strikes, and follows with her finishing move. So yeah, Shotzi, I could see maybe her doing a little stint in NXT just for that.
Earlier in the day, we have Paul Heyman arriving at the Performance Center, and he's like, "Which door do I go through?
Which door do I use?"
He's just so irritable. It's great.
Yeah.
So then we're in the Gallus locker room. Gallus boys on top.
Yeah.
They're getting fired up for their match, their pub match against the Brawling Brutes and Tyler Bate.
What? Show them who we are. We're Gallus boys.
There you go. And then we see Pete Dunne and Tyler in their locker room, and Pete Dunne's like, "Hey, I don't want the guy who meditates.
Yeah, right.
I need the Tyler back. I need the British Strong Style Tyler back."
We all do. I didn't like the meditation stuff, man.
Says, "I want the Tyler I faced in Chicago," and the Ridge comes in. He just says it's fight night, and they start chanting banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, and then that match was next.
Yeah,
it's fun.
You think Tyler Bate might have a position there in the Brawling Brutes?
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
If so, they should tell the story of him getting back to the British Strong Style.
I agree. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I never liked the Zen stuff.
It's like Pete Dunne could say, "Tyler, you can meditate on your own time."
Right, yeah.
We're here in the world of professional wrestling. I need you focused on fighting.
You need to be fighting, man. Where's that young Tyler Bate who looked like he was just ready to cut somebody's throat back in 2017? God damn it. Anyways, after that, we had the pub brawl, Brawling Brutes and Tyler Bate versus Gallus. This was fun, man. This was cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like Tyler Bate taking a pint glass. I mean, it was a gimmicked one, or not gimmick, but it was like one of the fake ones or whatever.
The sugar glass is what they call it, right?
I think it is. Right. Yeah, and he just like completely annihilates it over Joe Coffey's face. A lot of cool stuff here, but in the end, the Brutes hit Joe Coffey with a triple power bomb through the table to get the win. Good stuff here for the Brawling Brutes.
So a couple people are saying here in chat that after the show on the YouTube video, they officially made Tyler Bate one of the Brawling Brutes. He is in.
Wait, what? Is he getting called up to main roster?
Well, no, he's just a member of the Brawling Brutes. Doesn't necessarily mean he's getting called up.
What is that? Did Tyler Bate
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Did Tyler Bate say, wait, what? I'm going up to main roster? They're like, don't get ahead of yourself, TB.
They're like, no, you're Brawling Brute, but NXT's Brawling Brute.
Right. Man, it's 3 minutes, 6 minutes. What the fuck? It's 6 minutes past the hour, Larson.
I'm refreshing and trying to get these
Where's
numbers.
White Brownie with our ratings?
Oh, I'm waiting for Brandon Thurston to tweet him because usually he's the one that gets them up right away.
Dirty Rich hit us with a power chat. Says, please do more Joe Coffee. Had a rough day and need some laughs. He's my £3. He got his £3. After that, we had a really nice video package. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. It's like looking in a mirror. The past and the future
really well
collide.
done.
I know, it was really cool. Like they were explaining the parallels between the two, and you know how similar they are, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, this is really well done. I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, it was really well done. Really well done. Highly produced. Really well done. They got a lot of B-roll from when I think it was in 2018.
Yeah, right.
In Dublin when Becky was at what was a wrestling school called?
Dublin.
They showed it.
Dublin.
Where Lyra was training. It was really well done.
Yeah. After that, we had a Lyra Valkyria interview. Says she starts to answer Mackenzie's question about her match with Becky, but then Tegan Knox shows up. Says, hey, congratulate you. Tegan interrupts and congratulate her on her match last week, and Lyra does the same for Tegan's match against Becky on Raw. And Tegan's like, hey, listen, man, I was so close. I was right there. So here's the thing. I know what it takes to beat Becky. And I thought she was going to say, Lyra, here's the deal. I'll clue you in to help you. But no. She said, your match is going to have to wait because I want another crack at it because I know what it's going to take. And Lyra's like, what? No. It's like, Halloween Havoc is the biggest night of my career. I'm not going to let anybody get in the way. Yeah. Tegan's like, it didn't work. I'm like, you came into that situation with, not a good plan, Tegan.
It almost like because she said it just kind of like matter-of-factly. Like if you say it matter-of-factly, maybe Lyra won't really hear what she's saying. Be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, we're going to go to dinner. I don't have a lot of money, so you can just buy it. And then you're like, yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, dinner sounds good.
Yeah, dinner. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, dinner sounds good. Where do you want to go?
So people are saying that Sean Ross Sapp is saying that NXT did really good.
I saw that. I'm waiting for some solid numbers here.
Oh, here we go. Maggie says Thurston is live on YouTube.
On YouTube, 900,000 and change for NXT, 600,000 and change for Dynamite, but waiting for the tweet still. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie. All right. Well, we'll wait until we get quite.
Okay, so WrestleNomics just says, ooh, Dynamite, 609,000. Ooh.
That's not great.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
last year they got like 735,000, I think, when they went head-to-head with NXT.
They didn't deal with the Dead Man and the American Nightmare.
Oof, that's a shellacking. Anyways.
That's a shellacking.
That's a shellacking. John Cena had a promo next. And so the crowd pops huge for him singing his song. He says, that's the most street cred I've gotten in the last 15 years. Thank you so much. So everybody talks about how NXT is the future. I guess they can't see that we're making history tonight. Cody is the GM. LA Knight is as guest ref. You're singing my theme. That's what makes this place beautiful and great, is all of y'all and what happens in the ring every Tuesday. There's nothing like being here in this room, and it's long overdue. It's my honor to be allowed to share this space with you, so thank you. I'm not unique in that case. That's why LA Knight is here. That's why Cody is here. This gratitude is a core value of mine. Thank you for creating the environment that we all want to visit. There's a long list of WWE superstars kicking down the door to stand here. Yes, we are SmackDown, we are Raw, and we are all NXT. Says when Carmelo Hayes called me, I couldn't say yes fast enough. He works hard, he never gives up, he's loyal to his friends. Couldn't wait to be here for his match against Braun Breaker. So that brings out Braun Breaker.
Yeah. And Braun says, how you doing there, John? And then the crowd starts singing, Braun Breaker sucks. And then Cena laughs about that. He's like, I like the other lyrics. He says, thanks for coming, by the way. It's a big night for NXT tonight for WWE. Let me give you a little fact. These people didn't come here to see you. They came here to see me. You got everybody fooled out here like Mello has some sort of chance to beat Braun. He's got the GOAT in his corner. Cena's like, everybody knows you've got the business in your blood, but we also know that your weakness is your attitude.
Oh, he starts lecturing him.
He does. It's a finger wag lecture. You lack respect. I didn't come out to run you down, but now that you're here, no, this is a teachable moment. I'm excited for your match tonight, and I'm here to respectfully wish you good luck. I'd like to talk to you about your extended warranty. He extends his hand. Braun acts like he's about to shake it. Instead, sucker punches Cena, sets up for a spear. Cena sidesteps, picks up Braun for an A, but Braun wiggles out of it and rolls out of the ring. So, yeah, NXT, 921,000 and a 0.3 in the demo.
All important, 18-49 demo, yes.
Dynamite, 600. Yeah, go ahead and you can do the whole spiel here. The all important.
Dynamite, 609,000 viewers, a 0.26 in the all important. It's the number that really matters.
Yeah,
18-49 demo.
You know, if you don't get
so
that
close in the demo.
Yeah,
not close at all when it comes to the overall viewership numbers.
Yeah,
a shellacking.
Shellacking. So who won the end of the Tuesday Night Wars? NXT wins again.
In a rout.
Absolute annihilation.
Absolute blowout.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know this would be, I mean, again, it's kind of meaningless.
It means
silly.
Nothing. It means
I didn't expect it to be that huge of a margin in overall viewership. 300,000 plus?
Yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot. Look, man, NXT, they load. You got Cena, Cody, and The Undertaker, and LA Knight. Like, that's silly. That's if you're not sitting here and thinking that's silly, then you're crazy. But I mean, dude, it also kind of, I don't know, it does sort of illustrate the thing about AEW. It's like, I get it. It's on a different night. It means nothing. But maybe if they built a couple more stars, they want to compete. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyways.
Yeah. No, I agree there. I agree there.
Hey, that Bryan Danielson swerve match. Holy shit. That was
fantastic.
That was a holy shit match, by the way. That
Talk
was
about
probably
creating new stars. You have Swerve win that match.
That was easily match of the night, by the way. Match of the night. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'd say. Creatively speaking, I would say AEW, they had the Tony Storm silent film and they had Danielson versus Swerve. So hey, they win in my book, creatively speaking.
All right. I haven't watched. I've only watched like the first 50 minutes of AEW. So, anyways, Cody's walking backstage. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks, right? I forgot which one's Stacks and which one's Two Dimes. Stacks,
2 Dimes is in AEW.
That's right. That's Cole Carter.
Stacks.
So Stacks and Tony D walk up to Cody and they're like, "Hey, we have a little problem. We're tag champs. We need new challengers." So Tony D pitches Cody on a battle royal to determine new number one contenders. Except that the final two in this battle royal would then face off in a standard tag match right afterwards. And at first, Cody's like, I don't get it. So then Stacks elaborates, and Cody's like, I love this idea. It reminds me of some of the ideas my dad used to come up with. You got it. It's official. Next week, it'll happen, and then the winner you'll face at Halloween Havoc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, we had
Baron Corbin interview. Yeah.
Hey, interview. Hey. This is our new NXT champ is taking a match with Dom. What's he doing? What's he hiding? That man's rage and phony intensity isn't fooling me. He's ducking me. I'm the only man who put Ilya down, and that scares him. He's not giving the guy who deserves a shot. A shot. And he's interrupted by, it's just plays. Like, we didn't get to see the NXT pop for LA Knight's music.
No, because music just plays while Baron's still talking.
Yeah.
He's like, ugh. Darn it.
Jeez.
While we're talking about Baron Corbin, it's a good time to talk about what we're trying to do here at Going In Raw. We're trying to get to 198,891 subs.
Oh, we're trying so hard.
So right now we got 731 people watching.
Oh my gosh.
Right now.
Wow.
I know, great crowd here. So if everybody right now, if all 731 people subscribed right now, guess what would happen?
Oh,
we'd shoot past 189,891. We're under 700 subs to get there. So please, if you like what you see as I stumble through this plug, please consider subscribing. Also, if you're watching live here, up to 733 viewers. Everyone hits that like button, have 733 likes.
Yeah, man.
And that's
it's that
great.
simple. It's that simple.
You like seeing those likes.
We're here to ask for your help.
Yes. We are. Sincerely, humbly.
Yeah. Sincerely, humbly, desperately.
Yes.
Perhaps. Yeah. Anyways.
After that, we got Dominic Mysterio challenging Ilya Dragunov for that NXT title. And yeah, LA Knight comes out. He's got the ref shirt under his normal ensemble. He's got the John Lennon sunglasses. He's got the pleather vest.
Yeah.
He's got the jeans. He's got the Timberlands.
Yeah. It's just like somebody went into like the creations mode in 2K and added like a referee stripes to his shirt there. Yeah.
Yep. So this is a solid bout. Naturally, Rhea and the rest of the Judgment Day get involved. LA Knight, though, did his job. Because first it's Finn running down the ring to try to get involved. He punches him off the apron. JD tries to sneak attack Ilya. Ilya ducks that. BFT for JD. And then Trick runs down after Rhea takes a swing at Ilya with her title and misses and kind of trips her off the apron and catches her.
Yeah.
And all that allows Ilya to hit Dom with a torpedo to get the win. Ilya celebrates, and then Baron Corbin walks down the ramp. And as he's about to approach the ring, Dijak just annihilates Ilya from behind with a boot. And then Dijak, he's still doing the action movie thing.
Yeah, right.
Gets right in Braun's face and says, I beat you to it.
I beat you to it.
He's mine.
He's mine. That's right.
So I'm guessing Dijak's done feuding with Tree.
I hope they revisit that feud. If they do, I will start watching NXT on a regular basis.
You know how NXT would have got over 1 million?
Yeah, how? Oh, Tree.
2-hour storyline of Dijak and Tree.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that'd be good.
Over
That's
1 million.
You need. You know,
easy.
Who needs Undertaker when you have Tree?
You have Tree.
Yeah, come here, Tree. So backstage, we've got. Okay, here's the thing: people in chat need to ease up on the NXT versus AEW shit. It ain't that serious, people. Cena and Mello are backstage, and Mello's like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry for Braun disrespecting you." John's like, "Hey, don't worry about that. Don't lose your focus." And then Trick steps in, shakes Cena's hand. Thanks for coming. And then Mello's like, "Hey, Trick, I'm sorry for last week. You know, you told me to stay in the back." And Trick's like, "Hey, it's all good. Let's talk about that later." And Cena says, "You guys are friends and superstars. You'll be champs again." And Mello's like, "Yeah, man, I'm going to beat Braun. They get back my NXT title, and you're going to get back your North American title." And Trick doesn't really move, but he's like, and then Mello's like, "I'll see you later." And then he walks off. And then he's like, stewing. And then Trick asks Cena, he was like, "Hey, let me ask you something, John. When did you know it was your time?" And Cena's like, "Oh, let's go talk."
Well, like Cena could sense that
he knows.
something was upsetting Trick.
Yeah,
he knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
And then we have next NXT Anonymous doing some phone video through a window of Paul Heyman talking to Ava, the Rock's daughter, about the bloodline.
Ooh, yeah. So wait a second. What happened with her? I remember there was that tweet that she put out that was like, "Goodbye, everybody," or "Goodbye, Schism," or something like that.
Yeah, I think Schism, like, the dyad's gone. I think Schism's no more.
Oh, is that the thing? Schism no more?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Schism no more, yeah. So that's what Grizzled Young Veterans should go to TNA or to Impact.
Yeah, Schism no more. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it'd be good to see them doing their thing again, man. I can't wait to see another Zach Gibson promo the way it should be.
Oh, heck yeah.
Soon to be considered
What a
AEW's
ball drop.
Oh, huge ball drop. Man, the fact that they didn't carry through with that identity theft thing.
Oh, the grifter angle, yeah.
The grifter angle. Biggest ball drop right there. Boy, that was good stuff. It was so bad.
Potential to be
so
a lot
good.
of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, they join the Schism, they go through all that. And then we've got
to steal identities.
Joe Gacy's wallet. I've got his phone. Do you know his password? Try Schism.
See, he has it written down in a small piece of paper in his pocket in his wallet. All his passwords. It's like the last 4 of his Social Security, too.
This says 2021. They're all out of date. Let's see here. Griga here with a super chat says, "I could see Tony Khan doing a special announcement soon." He likes a special. Wasn't there supposed to be a special announcement last night?
Yeah, I think it was the toy donation thing.
Okay.
Next, we're having SUV pull up to the Performance Center. Jade Cargill exits.
Good Lord, she looked like $1 million, man.
Star.
Oh my
absolute
goodness.
star.
God
and she's
damn.
greeted by Shawn Michaels. That's the only Jade appearance, though, of the show.
Yeah, they didn't do anything else with it.
So Cody's backstage. He walks up to Baron next. Corbin says, "You owe me, so make the match.
Make the match.
Last
Give me
time
a shot.
Give me a shot. Last time we saw each other was in Brooklyn. You jumped me from behind." And Cody says, "You made a good case for yourself because you're the last person to beat Ilya." And Baron says, "Make the match. Give me the shot."
Give me the shot.
And Cody says, "Well, Dijak made a good case, or it could be the winner of Mello and Braun tonight. Could all be the number one contender." Baron, you'll get your match. If you win, triple threat between yourself, Dijak, and the winner of tonight's main event. It'll be a triple threat next week. Winner faces Ilya at Halloween Havoc, I believe, for the title.
Yeah, right. After that, Rhea and Dom are leaving the trainer's room. They see it's just everybody else in NXT. Axiom, Nathan Frazier, Briggs, and Jensen. And then Frazier says, "Hey, just because you got your ass beat doesn't mean you get to treat people like dirt." And then Dom's like, "Who is this guy?" And Rhea's like, "He's not North American champion, so he's nobody." Then we had Lola Vice versus Danny Palmer. This is part of the tournament, the breakout tournament. And this is cool stuff, man. Lola Vice, apparently that's why they were booing Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne Perez had a win over Lola Vice. But she's very popular there with the PC crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see both Lola Vice and Danny Palmer. They've got some good stuff there in the ring, man.
I think Lola Vice used to be an MMA.
Yeah. She was. Man, I just looked her up the other day because my cousin was asking me about her. He was like, "Didn't she join the WWE?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And then Danny Palmer, I think they said, used to be a gymnast or something. But yeah, there's a lot of really good creative stuff in this match.
Valerie Loretta.
Yes.
That's who it is.
Yes. So Palmer misses a twisting splash, but then ends up hitting a bunch of strikes. She's looking for a standing shooting star press. Lola Vice catches her and locks on a submission. Danny Palmer does like a crazy walkover to do a roll up. Vice kicks out of that and then hits like a spin kick to get the win.
Yeah, it was good stuff. After that, we had a Chase U video package. So Thea Hale, who's been hanging out with JC Jane lately and drifting away from Chase U, came back to class. She was like, "Hey, JC said I should come back to class, but only if she can come too." So he's like, "Okay, you can talk a seat." And you could take a seat. They're just being disruptive. He's trying to talk about the history of Halloween Havoc. And then JC sees something on her phone. All the students pick up their phones. Chase is like, "What the fuck you see on the screen?" He says, "Don't ever get on your fucking phone again." And then he says, "Everything was fine till you came to class." And then JC tells Chase, "We're looking at the announcement that you and Duke are going to be in the tag team battle royal, the Bada Bing battle royal."
Yeah. And she says something like, "Congratulations to the future number one contenders for the tag titles." And Duke's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, he's happy about that.
So we get Braun warming up backstage, and Heyman's in the background in the locker room. He starts cutting a promo. He says, "Braun Breaker. They say that wisdom comes from experience. In all my experiences, I've worked with your father, I've worked with your uncle, and you have the best that both had to offer. But I'm not a wise man because I remember the past. I'm a wise man because I could see the future. The future is Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
In the main event of WrestleMania. The only thing standing in your way is Carmelo Hayes." And Braun says, "You want to do Braun's voice here?"
Oh, please, go ahead.
No, I said, "Do you want to do Braun?"
Oh, I thought you were offering to do it yourself.
No,
you're not going to do Braun?
No.
"I don't care if it's Carmelo, Cena, it doesn't matter, stands in my way. I'm going to break them all. I just really hope it's not Undertaker. That guy's got my number."
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk about this Brian Pillman video package. There are things I liked about it, and then there is his weird hair-beard combo. I'll be honest with you, I thought this was much better than anything I had seen of his in AEW.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked. So the motivation is kind of weird. He hates wrestling because he's so closely associated because of just his mere appearance, his father. But he's not a fan of that.
Yeah.
And he's tried everything else and nothing works for him. So he's being forced into being a WWE superstar, but He's going to try to like burn down wrestling from the inside, I guess.
Something like, yeah, he's being a wrestler to spite his father, kind of.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then and part of that also, and this I actually really liked, was the motivation of his name was, I guess, the actual, maybe it was his stepfather.
Yeah.
The guy that actually raised him, his last name was King. Yeah. And so that's his last name. And I think his sister's name is Alexis or something like that. And so
yeah, I mean, the reported new name is Alexis King. Yeah.
Right. And so he's taking on his name. I really like that. I thought that was cool, that aspect of it. That hair is something else.
Yeah, it is something else.
But whatever, like, that's aesthetics. Who cares? I'll be honest. I was pleasantly surprised. I did not know what to expect. And so I went into this fairly blind. I mean, I knew about the TV promos that they had before with him sitting in there and turning.
This is the first time he talked in any of them, though, I believe.
It was, yeah. This was the first time he talked. I kind of like it. The motivation's a little bit on the weird side. What was your take on it?
No, I mean, I think in terms of his delivery, it's the most kind of complete package we've seen from him, at least in terms of his career of televised wrestling. Whether it was a lack of opportunity or whatever, we didn't see this type of intensity out of him at any point in AEW.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I know.
So maybe this is something that he's really in tune with. Mm-hmm. That he's had a role in coming up with, and so he's really into it. I don't know, but the delivery I thought was pretty solid. Yeah, the motivation is whatever, but if this is the start, it's something for him to work with at least. It's not like they're just putting him out there as another second generation superstar.
I know, no, it is. You're absolutely right. It's something for him to work with. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He hates his dad. He hates wrestling, but he's going to do it. Yeah, I liked it, man. I think, like I said, it gives him something to work with.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not just, because here's the thing. Nobody could do what Brian Pillman did. He was unique. And could you imagine if he didn't pass?
I know.
Like, the Attitude Era and Brian Pillman would have been hand in hand. We would have seen some crazy shit from him. Because he had that charisma, man. Talk about, oh my God, charisma that he had. Yeah, like an extended 1998 feud between him and Austin. I know they had feuded with the Hart family, stuff like that, but when Austin was at his top, Pillman could have been like a forever nemesis for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their history, golly, dude.
That could have been something else.
Yeah.
Then we see Asuka and Kiana James talking backstage, and Kiana thanks Asuka for coming to NXT tonight and leaves, and then Blair Davenport steps in and chats with Asuka in Japanese. She leaves, and then Kalani Jordan, Fallon Henley stopped by to say hi, and then Tiffany Stratton just walks right in front of him, says hi to Asuka, and says, "Hey, from one dominant champion to another, let me know if you need anything while you're here." And Asuka's like, "All right, Tiffany." Yeah. And then she turns around, finds the nearest door, and goes through it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then we had our main event, Carmelo Hayes with John Cena in his corner. And then Heyman comes out to introduce Braun Breaker. And yeah, I mean, these guys put on a really good match. There was a bit where, so let's see. Braun sets up for a spear. Melo sidesteps that. Braun gets posted. Melo looks for nothing but net. Braun evades that, hits a press power slam. Melo kicks out and rolls out of the ring. Braun then picks up the ring steps. Cena takes them from him, kicks him. Then Solo comes running out to ringside. Him and Cena brawl backstage. Melo hits Braun with a code breaker on the floor. Melo goes up top, hits nothing but net for the win. And then right as he's celebrating, Braun gets back up, hits him with a spear, and calls for the mic. He says, "Win or lose, there's only one badass in WWE." The bell tolls. Motorcycle revs up. It's The Undertaker. Taker gets in there, gets in Braun's face. Braun says, "You listen to me, old timer. There's only one badass around here. You understand me?" And then Taker takes the mic. And Booker T was thoroughly tickled by Undertaker.
Oh, he was. He was.
He says, "Braun, I've been watching you for a long time."
Well, this was definitely Mark Calloway voice he was using last night.
I know, but I liked it. Okay, I'll switch then. "And one day you're going to be a very special talent. It's just one thing. It ain't today." So he sucker punches Braun, then hits him with a big old choke slam. And then he leans over and says, "Young fella, I'm going to give you a little advice. There's always an older, bigger, badder badass waiting around the corner. You just met the baddest of them all." Oh, my hips. And then Taker helps mellow up. And then in a digital exclusive, as they're leaving, they both do the
pose
throw
together,
the thing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah. So what is Braun going to have to do to get his heat back?
Beat the
With Undertaker.
One more match.
Oh my goodness.
Next match. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's got to. I mean,
that's the answer. He's not. He's not going to do anything to get his heat back from Undertaker.
He can't. Well, it's Undertaker. He's going to go away for another year.
Yeah, I know.
I am legitimately surprised that they got Undertaker for that, though.
Oh, all that Shawn Michaels has to do is make a phone call.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark. What do you think he calls him? Taker?
Probably Taker.
Hey, Taker.
What do you think Undertaker calls Shawn? Call him Michael? Heartbreak? Shawn?
I would think Shawn. I don't think he'd go to his shoot name. I would think that it's probably Shawn. What do you think Triple H calls Shawn? Do you think in their just like day-to-day conversations?
So I believe on conference calls, Shawn Michaels has referred to Triple H as Paul before.
Yeah, but everybody refers to CEO or whatever, Triple H, like whenever, like he wants, apparently like Triple H wants people to refer to him as Paul Levesque, as when he's out of character, when he's like that guy. Yeah. But I think on his conference calls, I think Shawn Michaels is just Shawn Michaels. He's like Michael Hickenbottom.
Yeah, I don't know,
Mikey. That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
Hello, Michelle said that you had a favor to ask me, Michael.
I know, Mike. I do, Mark. Yeah, I don't know.
Dead man rides again. Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, we can answer a couple questions. That sounds good.
All
right. Luis Ariza says, will we ever see NXT go back to the indie-like show again? I assume peak NXT,
No.
2017, 2018, 2019.
Oh, Clown says Nash says he always called Hunter Paul.
All right.
Dom says Sean refers to him as Hunter. I think. Oh, so but in the thing he refers to him as Paul. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so. I thought he's referred to him as Paul in the.
I think that's. I think there's that delineation of like, when he's behind the scenes, he's Paul Levesque.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Aussie Dragoon says, what are your thoughts on NXT rolling out all the former AEW stars? Cody, Jade,
I don't know, and I don't care. Look at that baby. For the audio crowd, Larson just brought little May baby there. Just licking the microphone.
Want to say hi?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look at that. God damn it, Dad. Let's see here. Patrick Cheeseman says, just want to say, listen, you guys, really takes the stress out of my day. When work is busy, you ease the tension. All right. Oh, man. Easing the tension there for Cheeseman.
Anyways, Aussie was asking, what are your thoughts on NXT rolling out all the former AEW stars, Cody, Jade, Pillman, all for tonight? Was it too much or not enough? Also, Larson, do you feel as GM Cody faced enough adversity, or would he have had to gone through more for you to consider him true GM material?
Oh, yeah.
Where was any adversity? He didn't face any adversity. He seemingly had a solution for every problem that arose.
Okay, but so here's the thing, though. What that's just him. He knows how to deal with situations on the spot, fast on his feet. I think that's.
What if Braun had like Spear or Baron be like, oh, you don't give me my match? Here, end of days for you.
Oh, he'd reverse into 3 crossroads. Boom, done. Roy Costin says, what do you guys think about NXT doing a homecoming every year? Alumni roster members show up and do things like last night. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Whenever AEW gets preempted for Tuesdays, then that's what you can call it.
But the one request I'd have is make it a little bit more organic. Like, say someone on the NXT roster says, I think I have what it takes to end Asuka's NXT winning streak. I challenge her to a match.
Yeah, right. Mitch.
Stuff like that. So it's motivating.
There you go.
Blake Whitehouse, do you see anyone in NXT winning the Royal Rumble within 3 years?
Winning the Royal Rumble within 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Braun, maybe. They seem to really like Braun still. Mellow, Trick.
If Trick has one of those years, like, you know, sometimes somebody will just have a meteoric year. Like LA Knight.
Yeah.
He's like way old. But like, if Trick has one of those things. Look, here's the thing. When Trick hits main roster, he's going to have 10 to 15,000 people every single episode he's on chanting, whoop that Trick.
Mm-hmm.
And if they realize, but the thing is also they're doing really deliberate storytelling right now. So like somebody getting sort of hot shotted up there really quick is maybe less likely to happen. But if they want to go through like a bit of a youth movement, then I could see that happening with Trick. Not 1 year or 2 years from now, but maybe 3 years from now.
Yeah. Cursed Hawk says, looks like from the thumbnail, you guys weren't huge fans of the Taker spot. I thought it was great and didn't hurt Braun in any way besides who doesn't love a Taker appearance. My question is, are you guys those type of fans who feels when an old-timer gets the upper hand on a young star that you automatically think it's a bad move? No. Automatically think it's a bad move. But I think for the young star, I don't necessarily subscribe to the philosophy that any opportunity for a young star to be in the ring with a legend is good for the young star.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just look at the Revival was on Raw 1000 or Raw 20, whatever it was, one where they got destroyed by the entire clique plus Finn Balor and the Good Brothers, and they absolutely destroyed them. It was embarrassing, and it seemed like that might have been the last straw. Maybe it was the clown costumes. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That Vince wanted to wear, but it was one of the last straws with them saying, "All right, we want to get out of this place."
Yeah, that stuff really doesn't work all that great. There was somebody. When Austin Theory was just in there with the. God damn it! Who was Austin Theory just in there with?
The Rock.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's right. That didn't do anything. That didn't do anything for Austin Theory.
No,
I
beating
really
John Cena didn't do anything for Austin Theory either.
That is still the craziest shit. That like he has not become a priority for them.
No, I know. Cena called it in their promo too. That's the crazy part.
He did. Yeah. He did. Yeah. Let's see here. White Brownie says, should NXT consider filming backstage segments the same way NXT Anonymous gets scoops? Yeah, I'd love the fly on the wall thing. I think would be great. I would love for them to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, more of that the better.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Kennedy, if you can embody a wrestler for one night, you have a match, and you have all the knowledge and skills of that wrestler, who and where would you want your one and only match? So you could be any wrestler for one night. For one match. So you quantum leap into any wrestler you want.
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man. Like all of a sudden I'm not gonna have Al there to help me like put together a classic, so I don't want to do that. I don't know. Yano versus like, I don't know. Did Yano ever do like the blow up doll match?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Something like that. Cause like otherwise I'm just going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Low blows and roll ups. That seems right, pretty low impact.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in like Kenny Omega's body when he has one of his main event matches.
Sounds horrible. I wouldn't want that.
That would just be pain.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, how about this? This is what I would do. I would quantum leap into Andre WrestleMania 3. He didn't have to do shit. His body slam once.
He's got to take a body slam, yeah.
Like he was probably in immense pain.
Yes, he was, I'm sure.
So maybe that's bad too, actually, now that I think about it. Or I'd be Hogan in that match. He didn't have to do anything but like act like this guy can't be, knocked over.
But the way Hogan tells it, he like ripped all of his muscles on his one side of his body slamming Hogan or Andre.
Yeah. Oof, yeah. I would try if I leapt into Hogan, I would try and fail, and I would get in Andre's ears like, "Pin me, brother."
Yeah,
Andre's like, "What?
I'm
are
not
you
ready,
talking
brother."
About? It's not my time, brother.
It's like Andre, I'm supposed to win this match. It doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would quantum leap into Sid during the Undertaker match.
Oh,
and then I'd know if I poop my pants.
Poop pants, and you come back and you tell the truth. What happened?
Poop your pants. Yeah.
Poop his pants. Edward Munoz says, we know there's a few wrestlers you guys separately or mutually can't get behind, like Punk, QT Marshall, Miz, etc. But who are some wrestlers you don't care for now, but you think might be able to change your mind?
Austin
And what would
Theory.
they have to do to do it? Who?
Austin Theory. He's got everything, and I think he's got everything to be super entertaining. They are not trying with him at all.
No.
So it's him, and then I think probably also Grayson Waller is really growing on me. He's really growing on me. He's getting to the point where like I see him and I'm like, oh, cool, as opposed to
yeah,
skip.
Yeah. I mean, you've always, of the two of us, you've always been the one that's been like, oh, I really don't like this wrestler. I don't care for this wrestler. I don't care for him. Then the process begins usually of you starting to warm to them.
Yeah. Because they generally like do something that changes, like Juice, like I just think that there's certain presentation, like you can name it. That's the thing about me is that like you can always pinpoint a change in direction for a certain wrestler that I'm not into as to when I changed on them.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, usually the people that I'm not really behind it's usually people who've been around for a while. I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm kind of tired of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like The Miz. The Miz has been The Miz for 20 years. I'm just kind of tired of Miz being Miz at this juncture,
Dolph Ziggler was that way too. It was like, okay, I know what I'm going to get,
Like, move forward. Do something new. Be new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's usually the wrestlers I'm just kind of like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Over. And like someone like Cody, I'm just like his melodramatic approach to wrestling just isn't for me. If he goes all in on sarcastic Cody, then maybe I'll have a change of heart because I like sarcastic Cody.
I like drunk Cody.
Yeah, I like drunk Cody.
Probably my favorite Cody right now is him and Jay just being drunk.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We can agree on that one. All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with our AEW Dynamite review.
Yes.
And we'll see if I guarantee there's going to be some sort of weird backstage fallout or news about like the reactions backstage to the ratings. So yeah, anyways, that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.